Okay, students, welcome back to school, and I hope you had a good Easter break. A shout out before we go on to a few students, to Alex for sending me some mathematical art over the break, which was great to see, to Yasmin for sending in a brilliant solution to the Sally Spinner's problem, and to Pagona and to Jason, who both spent the longest amount of time and got the highest scores on the probability maths-based recap. So great stuff there. In this really quick video, I'm just going to tell you what you need to do this week for maths. So we have our Year 9 Algebra booklet, and this week we're going to be focused on tasks 2 to 6. So term 2, week 1. And our focus this week is just building our fluency on these basics of algebra, so that when we get back into school and we go on to the more difficult topics, we can make really, really good progress. So I'm going to take just a quick look at these, but your first task is to complete these 5 worksheets. So starting here, says things like write down the coefficient for each of the following terms, and the coefficient is the number in front. So the number in front, so the coefficient of 6x, for example, is just 6. That's what coefficient means. Like terms are terms in the same family. So in this first question here, we've got the A family and the B family. So the ones that are in the same family are 3a and 10a. And then, of course, when we go on to our simplifying, we're looking to combine these terms. So if I have 14 cats and I take away 8 cats, that leaves me with 6 cats. In the previous assignment I set you, there was a video. If you're unsure about any of these skills, there was a video with Chuck Norris's explaining how this works. Just a little bit on the bottom, if we're simplifying where we have multiplication, we remember we don't need this times sign, so a better way to write 9 times a is just 9a. But if I were to work backwards and try and expand one of these questions, 28ab, what does that mean? Well, that's the same as 28 times a times b. So hopefully a nice simple warm-up for you. As we move through, we're going to move on to addition and subtraction. So there's a bit of a recap about like terms again, just really getting used to that idea, and then moving through addition and subtraction. And what I want you to look at is the method that they've used here to lay this out. So, for example, if I pick this question here, 3g minus 8 plus 5g, the first thing that they've tried to do in their working out is reorder those so all the g's are together. So they've taken 3g and 5g and put those at the front, so it's 3g plus 5g minus 8, and then 3g plus 5g is just 8g. And that's our final answer here. So where they want you to fill the gaps, that's what they want you to do as your first step, is bring things together that are in the same family, the like terms. That's the same for question 4 underneath. As we go on to the next skill, adding and subtracting like terms, we start to get some answers that go into negative values here. So use your number line at the right hand side if it helps you. But for example, if I am doing minus 11b plus b, I'm starting at minus 11b and I'm going up 1. So I start at minus 11 and I go up 1 and I get to minus 10. There's just some practice here on addition and subtraction with negative numbers. Then we have to put that into practice here when we're working with mixed terms in more than one family. So you can see that they've tried to write what they're doing at each step as we go down here. So grouping like terms together, what that means is writing the 10a and the 6a next to each other, which in total makes 16a. We still have the minus 5y, so our answer at the end is 16a minus 5y. A little reminder when we get down here that g squared and g are different families. So they are not like terms, meaning we have to keep them separate. Then move on to the next sheet here. Similar kind of practice, and I'm hoping that some of us are able to do these just so quickly and accurately. If I go down to the bottom here, I can see they start to get a little bit different and more difficult. Here I think I've got two families. I've got the xy's and I've got the yz's. As I look at this, I can see I've got an xy, take away an xy, plus an xy. So this is like 1 take away 1 plus 1. The answer to that is just 1. 1 take away 1 plus 1. And then my yz's cancel out because I've got plus yz and minus yz. So this is like 1 minus 1, which is 0. So this is our final answer. Then, the final task is to complete this code. All you have to do here is first of all work out the simplified version for each letter. So, for example, if I were to look at H is 2b plus 3b minus 4b. 2b plus 3b is 5b. Take away 4b is just b. And this tells me where I can fit in a H in this code. And you have to work out what this sheet is saying. So, those are our basic tasks for this week. And like I said, hopefully quite quick. What I need you to do is to submit this by Sunday. So it's 13th through to, let me just check my dates. Sunday is the 19th. And by the 19th, I need you to have taken photos of your work. So photos and submitted. And that's task 1. Once you've done that, I need you to prove your understanding and to show that you have become fluent on these kind of skills. And that's when I need you to go to MathSpace and to complete a shorter version of the task I set you over Easter. So this is much shorter, it shouldn't take you as long because it's just focused on one skill rather than the whole of probability. But the idea is that this quiz and these questions adapt to your level. So if you start getting them all right, it will give you more difficult questions and more difficult questions until you achieve the standard of like mastery. And that's what they call it. Whereas if you're struggling a little bit more, they'll give you hints and continue to give you more basic questions until you can do them. So just to show you a couple of things about this, I know a lot of you will have found it. On the right hand side here, one thing I can do is ask for a hint. It does affect my score if I ask for a hint, so don't do it unless you need it. And I can also click here and it will show me some notes that are relevant to this skill, including some examples at the bottom that have some videos. And sometimes there is actually an icon for videos on the right hand side, and you can watch someone going through a very similar question. So, if I'm answering this question here, minus 7pq plus minus 6pq, using the idea of the number line, I'm starting at minus 7 and I'm going down by 6. So I think I'm going to end up with minus 13. That's my coefficient, and my term is pq. I'm going to press enter to submit, and now it says I've completed question 6, and I've got 58 mastery left to complete this task. Your challenge is to get the right number of mastery points in order to prove that you are really fluent in simplifying algebra like this. If you do this problem on your phone, there's actually kind of like a touch screen version, so you can write your answers kind of like this: minus 9x plus 3y, and it will recognize your handwriting and give you and mark your work. You can't do that if you're doing it on a computer. If you get really stuck here, you can use the hints, and the hints will actually look at your steps as you're going through. So for example here, if I'm doing enter your next step, I could do minus 9x minus 3x plus 3y minus 8y, and all I'm doing here is putting the like terms in the same family together, and then I can say, well, minus 9, start at minus 9 and then move down by 3 is minus 12x, plus 3, so start at plus 3 and move down by 8, so that starting at plus 3 moving down by 8 gives me minus 5y, and press enter. This is the final solution, and also I can show my working out as I go. Now you can see I have 51 mastering left. So, those are your 2 compulsory tasks this week. I need you to complete these pages in your book and send me photos of your work, and then I need you to log on and complete the challenge on MathSpace. And bear in mind there, I can see how long you spent on it, how many questions you've got right, and I'm hoping to see some really good work. Some of us will do all that very, very quickly, and I understand that you might feel that your algebra is already good, in which case I have another challenge question for you. And this time we've moved on from Kate's cushions and Sally's spinners to Kim's bunting. Kim is running a business on the side where she makes some bunting, these little flags, and a customer has ordered bunting to go all around his garden, and you can see how big his garden is in the problem. Kim explains to you a little bit about her method, about how she makes the bunting and decides how much fabric she needs to order, and your challenge is to help her out with that, to do the calculations and figure out exactly how much fabric she should order in order to have enough to finish this person's bunting for their garden. So, as with these other problems that we've done, I'm interested here in your communication and your analysis. So, a blank piece of paper, show me how you think about this problem, how you set it out, and I'd be really interested to see what you come up with. There'll be green posts for the people who do the best job. Okay, that's all from me. The beginning of next week, I will post answers to the parts of the worksheet that we've done today, that we've done this week, so that you can mark it yourself. But I'll only do that after you've had a chance to submit all your work. Best of luck with it, and get in touch if you need anything at all. All the best. Nice day.